upheaval in Syria has sparked new fears of instability and uncertainty in the region. And tonight, the Biden administration has been trying to navigate the sudden challenges. That includes sending its top diplomat and national security advisor to the Middle East this week. White House Correspondent Owen Jensen reports. Owen.
Tracy, one of the national security concerns continues to be ISIS. That's the Islamic State group. Right now, the U.S. has about 900 troops in Syria, preventing ISIS from taking advantage of the dynamic situation there.
With Syrian President Bashar Assad gone, his mansion in Damascus gutted by the public, the future of the country remains unclear. For one journalist, mixed emotions.
And I'm hopeful for the coming days, but also I'm really scared because we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know if the coming government or the coming regime would be better. Hopefully it will be better.
Meanwhile, the U.S. now focused on the terror group ISIS, saying the counter-ISIS mission by American troops in Syria continues, and warning that the Islamic State group loves nothing more than ungoverned space. Overseas in Japan, observing military exercises, U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin told reporters,
"As you've heard me say, my number one priority is protection of our troops. And we're also very much focused on making sure that ISIS doesn't have the ability to resurge."
Over the course of Syria's nearly 14-year-long civil war that killed nearly 500,000 people and displaced half of the country's pre-war population of 23 million, Kurdish fighters, known as SDF, partnered with the U.S. to rout ISIS.
As you know, we've worked alongside the SDF for some time, and that work continues. Again, we have a good relationship with them, and I think it'll remain that way.
Meanwhile, over the coming days, in the waning days of the Biden administration, Secretary of State Antony Blinken and National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan head to the Middle East. For Blinken, his 12th visit since the Israel-Hamas war erupted last year, and his first trip since the ouster of Assad, which sparked new fears of instability in a region now racked by multiple conflicts.
One can say that the Syrian army doesn't exist anymore. What was maybe a little bit surprising was the fact that it was such a rotten and corrupt army that they did not resist.
Now, the U.S. has had troops in Syria for the last decade battling ISIS, and officials say more strikes on ISIS, like those that occurred earlier this week, will continue. At the White House, Owen Jensen, EWTN News Nightly.